Welcome back, guys, to another video. In this video we're going to be going over what a natural experienced lifter can expect to make gains wise in a year. We'll be going over a video by Jeff Nippard. I love this guy. He's a very scientific lifter. We're going to be cutting to different parts of the video. It's a really long video to try to see what his overarching system is and how he finds these results. And you can also compare it to what a newbie lifter will be making, because in his experiment that he did in the new video that he posted, he also goes over his brother, who's a newbie lifter with the same genetics or similar genetics to what he has. So this will help set your goals, help you with organizing yourself. And keep in mind in this video that Jeff Nippert is typically, I'd say, considered to have better genetics than the average person for lifting. So keep that in mind when watching this. But besides that, let's get into the video.
Alright guys, so here we are looking at Jeff Nippard. We're about to start the video. Keep in mind, guys, I already said before, his genetics are not the average guy's genetics, so this results might be a little skewed upwards. But this will give you a general idea of how newbie lifters compared to experienced lifters and what you guys can expect when you get into your bodybuilding journey. Or whatever fitness journey you're trying to get into. If you're doing it for a sport or something.
For the next year, I'm going to train as perfectly as humanly possible. That means I'm going to run the most science-based, optimized plan and track every single set of every workout. No skip workouts, no lazy sets, no exceptions. I'm also going to track every single calorie I eat every day for a year straight. And in this video, I'll show you my full results. To start the experiment, I'll get a DEXA scan.
Quick preface, guys, I already watched this video, so I might skip to certain segments.
Then,
to get to the point, because this video is like pretty long.
Exactly how much muscle
and if I pause every second every time this guy talks, it's going to be a really long video.
I'm going to also do the exact same experiment on my biological brother, who's a similar height as me, with the similar genetics, but here's the catch. He does not lift at all. He's a completely untrained beginner. This way, we'll get to see the difference between someone who's been
that's what I love about this guy. He goes all in on his videos.
New to lifting. You see, you build most of your muscle in your first few years of lifting. Then it slows down. And there's a theory out there that once you've been training for 5 or maybe 10 years, you've built all the muscle you can build. People call this your natural ceiling for muscle growth. And for the last few years, I've been thinking that I've reached it. Despite training as hard as usual, I just haven't really seen any noticeable gains in the last few years. And once you hit your natural ceiling, you have a decision to make. You can either maintain what you've built, saying goodbye to any new gains, or you can take anabolic steroids. I've definitely thought about using steroids, but I don't want to, because the side effects scare me. I also don't want to just maintain if I can still make gains. As a bodybuilder, making gains is kind of the point, right? And besides, there's really no science on this so-called natural ceiling anyway. It might not even be a real thing. So for me, this experiment will answer the question of whether or not I've reached my natural ceiling, or if I haven't been training as hard and smart as I could be. For my brother Brad, it'll show how much muscle a new lifter can gain in 1 year of dedicated training. Let's find out.
Some insightful stuff, so you guys,
it's day 1 of the experiment.
We're just trying to train, this also works for you guys too. As we'll be able to see how training quickly
Let's get started.
in a short span of time for beginner lifter, which is a year. Might not sound short for you guys, but in lifting terms, that's pretty short. Only training years that much. How big of an effect that can have on a person.
And to set
rather than his brother, who's
take an ambitious guess at
really out of shape.
I'll gain this year. I'm gonna guess that I will gain 4 pounds of muscle. I think Brad will gain double that.
So I've already watched this video. I have an idea. I don't remember exactly how much it was, but I'm pretty sure he's underestimating by a long shot on his brother.
Quite a bit. I mean,
you know.
For him, it might be undershooting a bit. For you, man, you know, natural bodybuilding, like, it's hard, man.
Challenge accepted. So, with my own research team as my biggest haters, we got our starting measurements done. 5'4", 0.7? 0.7, sir. Take that, internet. Says it 5'2". First up, we use this DEXA machine to measure our starting body fat percentage.
Short guys have less room, so they fill out quicker. That's what a lot of people say. I don't know exactly if there's any research behind that, but that's what a lot of people say.
Body fat.
That makes a lot of sense.
I thought I'd be closer to 13 or 14%. But hey, maybe I'll get that down by the end. It also said I had 132.7 pounds of lean.
Oh, lag. I have to cut this part out.
Mass. Lean
Oh,
mass
there we go.
includes your
Never mind.
muscle mass, but it also includes your organs and body water. After that, we got our muscle thickness measured using ultrasound. This device sends sound waves through your body that reflect back, creating echoes that can generate an
Also,
image
the
of how
DEXA scanner this guy used,
we did
I
thickness
really wouldn't
measurements for
recommend it.
biceps and quads.
I don't think it
Whereas
has the
biceps
highest
36.2%, also higher than
scientific
most people
backing,
thought. Most people probably do think they're leaner
but
than
I
they actually
do
are.
prefer the
We're also
ultra
doing
scan
regular
thing that he
posing
did there
updates
with his
to assess
muscles
our
where they
visual
check
progress. So Brad and I made our own
this
posing
thing.
room to make sure we'll have the exact same lighting and angle and body water. After that, we got our muscle thickness measured using ultrasound.
Yeah,
This device
ultrasound.
sends
That's the
sound
one.
waves through your body that
Ultrasound. It
reflect
helps
back,
us
creating echoes that can
much
generate an
more
image of how thick the muscle is.
trustworthy.
We did thickness measurements for know if failure makes a big difference
So
for
let's
hypertrophy, but the latest science definitely shows a trend. The harder you push, the more growth you tend to see. Before, I'd
very
always
true.
leave 1 or 2 reps in the tank on compound exercises, even on the last set, and I still think that's a good idea for most people. But I want to go ham this year, leaving no uncertainty of whether I could have done more. Second, I'm only doing optimal exercises. If it doesn't build maximum muscle, I'm not doing it. Third, I'm meticulously tracking all my weights for progressive overload, and my goal is to add a little weight or a rep each week. Now, since
That's
Brad's
total
working out,
volume.
I have to ease him into the
If you
workout.
guys
So
know
we're
what
starting
volume
with
is,
1 set per
it is
exercise in week 1,
sets
2
times
sets in
reps
week 2,
times weight.
and then 3 sets from week
So
3
that's how
onwards.
he's
And yes,
increasing
he
his
has to run
volume
the
through
exact
sets.
same program as me for scientific control. It's definitely a bit too advanced for him, but I think he can do it for science.
You see that shakiness? That's how we know you're a new lifter. that is your body saying, what are you doing right now? I have not done this.
For that first week of training, my main priority is just getting Brad familiar with the technique on the different exercises in our program.
All you're gonna do is just stick your butt back as you lower the bar straight down with straight legs. Good, and then up. Oh, that's it? That's it, that's the whole movement. Oh, okay. Don't bring the bar out in front, lower it straight down. It's not gonna hit your knees because you're moving your butt back. There you go, that's it. That's your RDL. And you can stop about just below
Builds
knee.
great
So we'll
glutes. That's
stop
glutes,
about-
hamstring.
We're not doing any failure training in week
An
1.
RDL is
Just get adjusted.
Roman
The real failure work is going to start in week
deadlift.
3.
That's what he's saying.
All right, man. That's 1 week of training down. I enjoyed it more than maybe I even thought it would.
I don't know why it's called that, but that's the name of it.
Good job. Thanks. You did it, because now it's just repeating that. Yeah.
That's very important, having a partner to keep you focused on your training.
51 times now. That's right. That's right.
By week 3, we were cruising. The initial soreness from starting a new program had settled down.
We're gonna start
Before we knew it,
expediting
it was
this.
time for our first check-in.
Moment of truth.
Instead of the first check-in, we're gonna go straight to the last check-in since this is gonna be a long video. So we're gonna go a little bit here
It was
and
time for
let's
our
go.
post-recomp check-in. Did I manage to gain muscle and lose fat at the same time? Or did
This
I
is a
just
few
skip my
months in,
goals for the
so
first 3
we
months?
skipped
Let's find out.
a little bit.
Turns out, I actually lost 0.8 pounds of lean mass since our last check-in.
So I don't like
It's within
these
the
DEXA
DEXA's margin of
scans.
error, but it's still a bit disappointing. It's also kind of what I expected. At my level
That's
of
what happens
advancement,
when you
I
lose
think you
weight.
really need at least a slight caloric surplus to keep muscle growth moving. Maintenance calories probably just won't cut it. I guess it's also possible
You always
switching
need to
to a
have
body
a
split and our time in Japan threw me off a bit, but I was still training super hard and I was still
Caloric
eating a high
surplus if
protein
you want to
diet.
gain
So, I
body
just
weight
think that
to gain
maintenance
muscle.
calories wasn't
If
enough
you're
to drive
maintenance,
the
you
growth
have to
for me,
have
at
pretty
least
high
not
fat
within 3
levels
months.
already
On the
to
upside,
gain muscle
I did
because
lose half a pound
your
of
body
fat.
would then
So
recomp
my
by
body fat
itself.
percentage dropped ever so
So
slightly.
unless you're already pretty
Brad
fat,
lost
you're not
quite
gonna
a
gain
bit
muscle
better. He lost
maintaining weight.
3.5
You have to
pounds of fat,
slowly
and this got
increase
his
it.
body
That's
fat
what I call
percentage down to
maintaining.
33.8%.
Very
That's despite not
slowly,
actually
very
doing the fat
slowly
loss
increase.
ATF. He did lose 0.7 pounds of
So,
lean mass
let's say like
before his
a pound
check-in,
a month.
but that's also
That's
within
a
the
good
margin of
rate,
error,
especially
and I
for a
suspect
newbie
that
lifter.
if there was any loss, it's probably not actual muscle tissue, especially since he didn't lose any strength. You see, at every check-in, we've also been testing our muscle strength using this Biodex isokinetic dynamometer. Basically, you
Look
just
at it
press
go.
against this foot pad as hard as you can, and the computer measures how hard you pushed.
Personally, I also think that
Since the
that's a
beginning
waste
of
of
the
time
experiment,
since
Brad's strength has trended up.
some
My
people
strength also trended up, but not by as much as Brad's. And
don't
at my
push
last
as
check-in,
hard
It was down a bit. So
on
this
their
time, I was determined to have my best strength test
reps.
yet. I buckled myself into the
You
machine.
could train, we could push really hard one day because you didn't train as hard as I did before, but then use that machine, just not pushing as hard. Because you just didn't feel like
got
it.
A massive isokinetic dynamometer PR of 359.2.
Yeah, maybe he just felt it that day.
Measurements,
Who knows?
So I buckled back in for round 2.
2, 1. Oh, hold on. No, hold on. I felt something really weird in my knee.
And I injured my knee.
Yeah.
Partially torn tendon. So that sucks.
See, that's also another issue with that.
Having gained
It's
zero
pretty
muscle
dumb.
in the last 3 months, but with a freshly injured.
Personally, I wouldn't recommend that, but this guy's a smart guy. But even smart guys can make mistakes, and that's not a good idea to use that machine.
I'm basically using lighter weights with a really slow tempo for now. So I've been using
Now that
3-second negative,
delays his
positive
results
stretch,
for the
10-second
testing.
positive. That will keep some tension on the quads, but it just pales in comparison to the intensity and the load that I'd normally use. Not an ideal way to kick off the cut, but this is just a normal part of training. I think you could make the case that the more you
does happen.
the higher your risk of having a setback is.
In general,
in this case,
on average, newbie lifter has an injury within their first year.
Not having anything to eat,
So
having to go
it
and
makes
do
sense
an all-out
to expect to have an injury,
test
but
is
try to avoid it.
probably not, like,
Recommend watching
safest
videos
thing.
like mine to try to avoid having
Also,
those types of
because
injuries.
time constraints and everything, didn't do
So
anything
that
the
then
month
leads
before.
to negative
That
results like what Jeff is
regardless,
experiencing
it is what
here.
it is. It happens. Could have been worse. My physiotherapist said it'd probably be at least a month or 2 of rehab, so I did my best to keep things optimistic and really just focus on getting all the excess fat off and finishing off this experiment as strong as I can, given the circumstances.
It's officially
Yep, don't get down.
start the cut.
Don't let the negative circumstances bring you down. Not everything can always be perfect.
I'm excited to get into some cleaner eating and just like not having to gorge myself every day.
Yeah, for a cut, we're dropping down to 2,000.
Yep, and I think he made a mistake because he put the same amount of calories for his brother, who's already overweight,
Exciting to have a new goal,
which is
and
bad.
glad to see Brad
It's just
finally start
really
his
bad.
goals.
Even for this
About a month
experiment,
into
it's
the
bad.
cut, my
If you're
motivation
trying to do an
really started to
optimum
ramp up.
test
I
between
had to train
both
my quads
guys,
with really light weights for a while, but my strength was
you
starting
want to
come
try to
back.
be doing an
I was also
optimal workout for
finally
both
getting
guys to
gains
see
that I
what
needed
the
to
results
evolve,
would be
and
for
that
someone
was
who's
mounting up.
beginning. Says
Since
he
it
might
worked
need
so
a
well during
surplus,
the
but his
bulk,
brothers are
we
going to need a
decided to
surplus
keep
because he's a
going
newbie
with
lifter.
upper-lower push-pull leg
And if his
split.
brother was a
Plus, started
sister,
2
he's going to give him
exercises
that's
on the overall strength
3,000
at the same time.
calories,
My own recovery
and
has
then
been
the
stopping
sister,
about
whatever,
1 failure on
would be
compound
obese.
That's just because
So
of
that's why I
on
don't
upper body
appreciate
injury
that.
too, and with
Or
less
if his
calories,
brother was
you
just
need to
shorter,
be a little
who
more
knows?
careful. I'm
Just
still
5
pushing the
foot
last sets
tall,
of
and
all
then
the
he's eating all these calories, he'd be extra obese.
And with some good visual changes happening, we were both determined to hold on to as much of that muscle we built as humanly possible.
And he
At the
also
1 year
skinny
mark,
pretty
Brad
quick.
and I aren't quite back to our starting body weight yet, and I really need us to both get back to the weight we started the experiment at for the true test of net muscle gain. I don't want to rush things and crash diet either, since I know that can accelerate muscle loss.
I think I'm going to extend it until March, under the assumption that we're both giving it 100%. If you're in, I'm in.
Yeah, man. 100.
So he didn't even do it for a whole year. This is 14 months of
And then
results
it was time
for a newbie lifter and an experienced body lifter. I want to say bodybuilder. Oh, he is a bodybuilder.
It's been so long.
It's just not what he's known
Keep in
for
mind
now.
That we both nailed the weigh-ins exactly to the decimal. I started this experiment at 164.6 pounds, and I'm ending it just over 1 year later at exactly 164.6 pounds. The question is, am I carrying more muscle now? Let's start with Brad's
Does look a
final
little
results.
bit leaner.
All right, Brad. Any final words?
Nope.
After the cut, he has
49.
Wow, that's good. So he's up 4 kilos of lean mass.
Yeah.
That means from the start of
good.
the experiment to now, he's up 10 pounds of lean mass and down, get this, 10
Although, like I
pounds
said,
of
I
fat.
highly
That's
doubt
incredible.
what
His final strength test was also
that machine
his best
tells you.
ever.
It's very
That's even cooler though.
inconsistent.
His Oura Ring is now saying that his heart health has improved by about 4 years. Amazing stuff.
That is very good.
As for me,
I just want fries, chicken burger, fries, and just some really good tequila, bro.
okay, so from the beginning of the experiment, to
That's
the
not
end
a
of the
good mindset
experiment,
to have.
the exact same
You should
body
try to
weight,
enjoy
I
your
gained
workouts. Not think of it as a chore. Oh,
2.7 pounds of lean mass.
What?
That may not sound like much to some
Yeah, I
people,
might blow
but
some
think about
people away.
it. This is what the lean mass I added would look like.
No, but that's
if it
good,
were
and that's what you
ribeye
expect
steaks.
from an experienced
So
lifter.
that's basically like putting on almost 4.
He did that now for
steaks
10
worth
years.
of tissue
He'd
in
have
1
20.
year.
Let's say he's
Just under
already
5'5",
training a long time. It's
that much
8. He's
tissue
20.
across my body
Do that for 10 more
is gonna
years.
make a visual difference.
He'd gain 20
I
pounds of
definitely
muscle.
see the biggest difference in my chest and my back, but I see some gains in my shoulders
This
and
guy
hamstrings
trained
too.
for
Now,
lots
if
of
you
years,
remember,
guys.
The reason I cut down is because I really wanted to see how much muscle I'd retain from my bulk. So at the end of my bulk, I was up 4.5 pounds of lean mass, and now I'm still up 2.7 pounds of lean mass. So yes,
According to
I
the
did
DEXA
retain
scan,
most
which is
of those
very
gains
accurate,
while
but I
cutting
would
down.
say
I
it's
kept more than half the lean
decent
mass
guess.
that I put
It's
on, which I think
alright.
is pretty solid. I'm also leaner now. I started the
Say it's probably
experiment
closer
at
to 3 pounds, so.
15.8% body fat, and now I'm down to
You can see he's
14.5%
visually
body
leaning.
fat.
If you look at
So
his
not only
quads,
did I
you look
shred
at his
all the 11 pounds of fat that I put on during the bulk, I also lost another 2 pounds of
abs
fat
to the
beyond
right,
that.
all the way to
The
the
ultrasound
left.
results also showed that I gained net muscle in my biceps even after the cut. My quads
Which is
also
true.
grew
It's
significantly
good.
during the bulk, but basically came back down to baseline after the cut. I'm going to blame that on my knee injury, especially my left quad, which did lose more muscle, and that's the knee that I injured. I did hold on to some net muscle gain on my right quad though, even after the cut. Also, for the sake of scientific transparency, we also took BIA, or
That's why I like that
bioelectrical
ultrasound
impedance measurements
test.
throughout
It's
the
much
study.
more accurate.
This is the type
You
of
can
device
see
you'll
the
often
difference
see in
between his
commercial
left and his right leg.
It says that I lost 1 pound of lean mass. This probably would have gutted me if I didn't have access to higher quality, more expensive, and more sensitive equipment. BIA has about twice the error margin of a DEXA machine, and I honestly just think my gains were well within the error bars for that device. Plus, the DEXA results, the ultrasound
Well, then
results,
the
the
DEXA
science
results
and the before and after photos
don't have
all
that good
quite
tests.
clearly show that I made gains.
I'd
So,
recommend
say this just to say that you shouldn't feel bad if you get a BIA test done.
using a
and
body
results
water
look like
testing. I
this.
feel like that's
They're
more
often
accurate.
not sensitive enough to
But you
detect
get like
real
a tank
changes
of
in
water
muscle
and they
mass
weigh you.
in experienced lifters. So, the question we all want to know, am I going to use steroids?
No.
I think I proved to myself that I can still make gains even 15 years deep.
Yeah, if he trains
if
5
I
more
really
years,
quit.
that could
I
be
don't
10
have
more
any
pounds of
regrets about
muscle.
the training program, but if I had my time back,
Around
I think
8,
I
let's
would
say,
have bulked a
because
little
it's going
less
to decrease.
aggressively. I think that if
If
I
there's 7
gained,
more pounds
say,
of muscle,
half
I'm
the
making
weight
him
during my
bigger.
bulk, I may have gained a similar amount of lean mass, but with less fat. As for the so-called natural ceiling, I still do think it theoretically exists, at
He's
least
just
on
not
people.
there yet.
If you could just keep building muscle indefinitely, anyone still lifting in their 70s or 80s would be the biggest bodybuilders alive.
Exactly.
But I think I did show that you can kind of push your natural ceiling up with optimized training and diet. At the very least, I think
Yep.
I showed that's possible. So my next goal
Very
now
true.
is to get shredded, properly shredded, under 8% body fat. And Brad said he's going to keep going with the cut too. Actually, while I was editing this video, he lost another 5 or 6 pounds, and this was his latest physique update that he just sent me. I want to get in my best shape ever this year. If you're looking to do the same,
Good.
I'd recommend running my new upper-lower push-pull legs program for
If
yourself.
you guys want to get his program, go get his program.
Except it's written to be
Go to
more
Jeff
individual
Nipbird on
to you.
YouTube, find his
Beginner
video,
version,
get his program.
intermediate to advanced version, and I give you 2 substitution options for every exercise and full instructions on how to swap exercises in and out.
Love
I'm
this
calling
guy.
it the bodybuilding transformation system because it really is more than just a program. There's video demos for every exercise, volume analytics, technique cues, and a full handbook explaining all the science behind the program. If you run this for the next 6 months, I guarantee you'll build muscle.
I
If
wouldn't
you
be
don't,
surprised.
I'll give you a full refund, no question.
Most of his stuff I think is
I
very
truly
good.
believe
Even
this
if I
is the
did
most
critique
effective
some of his
program I've ever written, and I had a blast
parts
with
of
it.
the experiment,
Pick up
I
either
think
the
in
beginner
general
version
he
or
did
the
a great
intermediate
job.
advanced version on jeffnipper.com.
Love his
It's
work,
25%
love his
off
form,
for launch
and
week.
the way
If
he
you're watching this
trains
video
in
after
general
launch
is
week, I'll still go ahead
optimal.
and
Definitely
leave
more
discount
optimal
code
than
in the
how I
description
train.
box
I do a
below,
lot of
so you can still
calisthenics,
save
and I
some
can't
money. Now, obviously, it's
be
not enough
perfect
to
like
just
he
diet
does
or
with all his
training in.
weights,
Your
and
diet
he has
is
everything
also
dialed
super
in for each muscle
So you
group.
can download my nutrition app Macro Factor for 2 weeks for free.
That also,
which is like
you guys
having
can
me
get
as your
that
own
if you want.
personal nutrition coach, but for a tiny fraction of the cost. Oh, and when it was all said and done, I did end up getting what I really wanted.
I'll do six McNuggets with large fries, and then I'll also add a McCrispy.
I would recommend that, guys. Yeah, but that is what happens when you get really strict with your diet and stuff. But always try to remember, enjoy the process. So that was the end of the video. Enjoying the process is more important. than what you get in the end.
Hey, what's up, man? Yo,
It's all about the journey, proving yourself. Every day you get better.
Relaxing. I'm so glad that we're done.
Done? Bro, that was just the first part. Yeah, we've got a whole other experiment to do.
Oh.
Hey, I'll see you at the gym, bro.
Yeah, okay.
Oh no, part 2, sequel video. Now, go watch Jeff Nippard. Maybe you guys can find out what that secret sequel video is all about. So yeah, I love this guy, love this video, love his content. Go hit him up, like everything, subscribe. To me and him too, because this is the end of the video. Please let me know what you guys want to see next. I like doing these reaction type videos, going over critiquing different videos of training and all that stuff. So please let me know if you guys like this, or if there's anything that you wanted me to do. Whatever you guys put in the comment, I'll take to heart, since I go and read through the comments. So just let me know. Yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye, guys.